বিসমিল্লাহির রহমানির রহিম। বিশ্বব্যাপী খাদ্য সংকট এবং করোনা উত্তর দুর্ভিক্ষ মোকাবিলায় করতে হলে কৃষি উৎপাদন যেমন বাড়াতে হবে, তেমনি খাদ্য পণ্যের সুষম বন্টন ও অপচয় বন্ধ করতে হবে। ১৬ কোটি মানুষের খাদ্য নিশ্চিত করার জন্য জমি, মাটি ও পানির মতো প্রাকৃতিক সম্পদের যথাযথ ব্যবহারই নিশ্চিত করতে পারে আমাদের বাংলাদেশের খাদ্য নিরাপত্তা। এই প্রেক্ষাপটে আজকের এই সেমিনার কোভিড-19 পরবর্তী খাদ্য নিরাপত্তা প্রেক্ষাপট বাংলাদেশ আয়োজনে যৌথভাবে গ্রিনটেক ফাউন্ডেশন বাংলাদেশ, কোয়েস্ট এবং গুড হেলথ ইন্টারন্যাশনাল। ইভেন্ট সহযোগী হিসেবে রয়েছেন জোড়াসাঁকো কমিউনিকেশন লিমিটেড। আমরা এ পর্যায়ে আমাদের পরবর্তী আলোচক ডিসকাসেন্ট অ্যাডভোকেট খালিদ ইয়াহিয়া, অ্যাক্রিডিটেড মিডিয়েটর, সেন্টার ফর ইফেক্টিভ ডিসপিউট রেজুলেশন, ইউনাইটেড কিংডম। আমাদের সাথে ইউনাইটেড কিংডম থেকে কানেক্ট হচ্ছেন অ্যাডভোকেট খালিদ ইয়াহিয়া, প্লিজ।
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Honorable Chair of this session, respected Chief Guest, esteemed keynote speaker, other distinguished guests, members of the panel for discussion, lovely moderator, and especially who are watching us from different corners of the globe. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you very much once again for joining with us. At first, I would like to give thanks to the organizer for initiating this seminar with a very important topic, and especially making gathered such a number of renowned scholars, experts on this particular topic. And at the same time, I want to give thanks to the respected keynote speaker for his very precise and informative paper presented in this seminar quite earlier. And as a very insignificant member from legal fraternity, I'd like to draw your very kind attention on the legal framework of right to food, which includes food security, its drawbacks, and more particularly its implications in post-COVID-19 era, more particularly in Bangladesh. As you all are aware that right to food is considered as one of the fundamental needs of every human being, and therefore it has been mentioned in all sort of international human rights instruments, including Universal Declaration of Human Rights, International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights 1966, CEDAW, Convention of Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, CRC, Convention of the Rights of the Child, so on and so forth. But if we see what actually right to food mentioned from legal perspective, then we will see when all people at all time have access to sufficient, safe, nutritious food to maintain a healthy and active life. And in terms of food security, it particularly says that both physical and economic access to food that meets people's dietary needs as well as their food preferences. These are the description from the legal perspective. And if we see more particularly the International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights general comment, then it says that every man, woman and child, alone or in community with others, has the physical and economic access at all times to adequate food or means for its procurement in ways constitute with human dignity. We all know that one of the three important principles of our independence war was equality, human dignity, and social justice, and that were mentioned in Proclamation of Independence and now part of the Constitution. So the right to food is not a favor for the citizen from the state, rather it is a right of every citizen, and that should be enjoyed with human dignity that are mentioned in legal framework. Our keynote speaker mentioned properly in his paper that food security should be component with availability, accessibility, utilization, and stability. From legal perspective, in this connection, two important issues are addressed with much importance. Those are availability and accessibility. And the concept of availability addresses here that food should be free from all sort of adverse substance and culturally acceptable in terms of quality and quantity, which will justify the nutritional and dietary needs of every individuals of the respective countries. And accessibility should be both from physical and economic accessibility. These are the international legal framework in short. If we come to Bangladesh context, the Bangladesh Constitution in Article 15, it says elaborately about the right to food. But unfortunately, these part are not legally enforceable rather than part 3 of fundamental rights. So fundamental rights in Part 3 of the Constitution are legally enforceable, but fundamental principles of state policy that are mentioned in Part 2 of the Constitution that are not legally enforceable. That means if any person or if any citizen of Bangladesh doesn't get the food, or if there is food shortage happen in the country, then no legal actions can be taken against the state or against the government. In connection with this discussion, there are two very popular principles available in the whole world. Those are human rights based approach and basic need based approach. But unfortunately, Bangladesh follows the basic need based approach. In this situation, no one can make liable the state or the government for the shortage or for availability of food in the market. But in the other approach, any person or any citizen, if there is unavailability or shortage of food items in the market, he can initiate any suit in the court of law. And the right-based approach, they follow some other very important principles, including the right to equity, the right to non-discrimination, respect for human dignity, people's participation in decision-making process, empowerment, absence of adverse impact, and adequate response from the government. So initially, as an ideal state, Bangladesh should go to follow human rights-based approach, particularly in terms of right to food. In Bangladesh, we had a very important piece of legislation that was the Epidemic Diseases Act that was enacted in 1897. But in 2018, that act was repealed by the Infectious Diseases Prevention, Control and Eradication Act 2018. And interestingly, 23 categories of special diseases has been mentioned in those piece of legislation, including Ebola and chikungunya, but definitely coronavirus was not included in those list. But in that piece of legislation, nothing has been mentioned about food security in terms of pandemic situation or in terms of very natural disaster or calamity or emergency situation in the country. In 2006, we got a national food policy where three kinds of objectives were mentioned. The first objectives were adequate and stable supply of safe and nutritious food. Number two principle were increased purchasing power and access to food to the people. And objective three were adequate nutritious for all individuals, especially for women and the children. These were the legal framework that were enacted both nationally and internationally, but practically those principles are yet to practically implemented in the jurisdiction of Bangladesh. I want to conclude with some very precise recommendation. The first recommendation is the keynote paper. He mentioned properly in his paper that not only adequate food grains are the issue of food security, rather distribution of food, availability, and importantly, people's purchasing capacity are also important. As we all are aware that thousands of people, they already lost their jobs from their respective work field, and that is why shortage of income has already been seen in our country. So in this situation, my humble request to the government is to subsidize more to provide food items to the people, and temporarily government can reduce VAT, and also temporarily government can alleviate the taxes, and also can review the whole taxation policy in this very pandemic situation. Number two recommendation is definitely government for this current situation will get some sort of financial aid from different international organizations, including UNDP, World Bank, FAO. But if government does some sort of pre-assessment to the most vulnerable sections of the sectors, then it will be easier for the government to distribute the fund easily to the respective sectors. Number three is artificial crisis in the market. Several times we have seen that some unprincipled businessmen, they create this sort of artificial crisis to make more money and get the chances of the critical situation. So in this regard, the government should tackle this situation efficiently. And number four, my final point is in toxic chemical. We are a very unfortunate nation that there are so many unprincipled businessmen. They use this intoxic chemical unnecessarily to preserve the food item for longer time. So during the lockdown time, people didn't buy more food items, when the situation will go normal, people will buy more items. So in that situation, some businessmen who are unprincipled ethically both and legally, they will try to utilize these things. So in this situation, this is also one of the very challenging situation for food security and food safety. So I asked to the government agencies to control this situation and also can implement new laws for this very pandemic situation. With these kind words, I want to conclude, and thank you very much for your kind listening with patience. Thank you very much once again. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Advocate Khalid Yahya, for your nice deliberation.